Hello there fellow NPCs, I am Scythe, and today we're getting back into Everlasting Summer. This is the continuation of yesterday's episode where we are trying to find Shurik. He's been missing the entire day. Well, not entire yet because it's only been noon so far. It is noon, now we have just finished eating. And it's, as you can see there, it's still the first half of the day. So we just have to find out where that little guy is. And we happen to believe that he might have come here as well in the same way that I did. Falling asleep on a bus, he just woke up here. Somehow, essentially, yeah. So finding him might actually be really good for us. We'll see how all that goes. So now, let's go. It's still the first half of the day. What now? The cat was drifting off for an afternoon nap. Only Genda stared at me through his glasses. Of course, he was staring somewhere else, but I had a feeling that he was constantly watching me. I bet he knows where Shurik is hiding. He just can't say anything. The disappearance of a cybernetics club's leader made me think. Maybe it's got something to do with my case. Well, hello, nurse. Oh, pioneer. The nurse stood in front of me. I looked at her curiously. Go and take my place in the infirmary. I have an urgent call. Somebody's injured. Me? Yes, you. Take the keys. The nurse threw me the keys and ran away. Ran away? Okay. Why me? Isn't there anyone else in this camp? What exactly should I be doing? What if something happens? What do I do now? I miss my chance to refuse. I stood in front of the door uncertainly. On the one hand, there is nothing to worry about. I'll spend a half an hour or so here and then she'll be back. But what if someone comes for actual help? With a broken leg or a head injury? I began to worry too much. I hope that there are no injuries more serious than bruises and scratches in this camp. But at the same time I could not shake the idea that in a serious situation I would be absolutely useless. I don't even know how to perform CPR. A magazine on the nurse's table caught my attention. A good way to relax, I guess. This is labeled Soviet Fashion. The publication date or month were absent. However, this was not a surprise. There were much stranger things happening here. I didn't know much about Soviet magazines. Maybe they actually didn't have publication dates on them. Models dressed in old-fashioned clothes stared at me from the glossy pages. Nowadays nobody would wear such clothes. I smirked. I wonder if Slavia, for example, considered this fashionable. I can only imagine what would happen if she appeared in my time wearing something like this. Imagine we are walking in hand. I'm wearing my coat with a hood and she is dressed in a lavish dress covered with lace and things. Seems like I'm already imagining Slavia in my world. With me. And not only Slavia. This dress better suits Juliana. This cute Sarafan would look good on Alyssa. This skirt and cardigan would look nice on Lena. If only they could be real. Now I saw them, heard them, could even touch them. But still they are here and I simply don't belong in this place. It's alien to me. I'm just waiting for a chance to get out of here. Waiting because nothing is up to me anymore. I sighed, put my head on the table and fell asleep. I was awoken by the noise of the door opening. Lena stood at the door. Yesterday I promised to help her in the infirmary. Right, we did do that, but ditched her to be with Alyssa instead. My cheeks became scarlet shortly and I turned away pretending that I'm busy. The nurse isn't here? Then I'll come back later. I'm substituting for her. You wanted to avoid her, why are you talking? Since I am responsible for pioneers' lives, I should do it with full responsibility. Although, in fact, I was just afraid of something bad happening because of me. Any health complaints? I tried to give Lena the most professional smile I could in order not to confuse her. Nothing special. Just a little headache. Let's do this. Some painkillers, maybe? Of course, I wasn't aware where to find required medicines, so it took me a while to find them. Finally, I handed a metamizole tablet to Lena. Thanks. She smiled. That was completely unexpected, and I lost touch with reality staring at her. What? Lena turned awkward in an instant. Listen, I've been wondering. Do you like this? I don't know what got into me, but I grabbed the magazine from the table and I showed her the picture of a skirt and a cardigan, which would really suit Lena in my opinion. Maybe I went completely nuts, thinking about all the girls being in my world. Or maybe I wanted to distract myself instead of just waiting for the nurse to come back. Lena looked at the picture. Yes, I guess. Is stuff like this in fashion? I guess. She got confused and started blushing. Why do you ask? Really? Why? I think you look gorgeous in it, just asking. Holy crap, that is a powerful thing to say. But now I'm actually gonna save that for when we're doing the Lena route, you know? We were quiet for some time. How is your headache? Much better, thank you. She smiled. I'll be off. Good luck. Lena went out and I continued to look through the magazine. After a while, somebody knocked at the door again. Seems that the infirmary is the most popular place to go. Suddenly, I decided to roleplay a nurse. Just a male version. And said, "Come in." The door opened and Uliana entered the room. Wow, did I miss the moment when you decided to start knocking? Anything wrong with me knocking? She frowned. Where does it hurt? Why on earth would I tell you? Where is the nurse? Right in front of you. I imposingly crossed my legs and looked questioningly at her. I'd better go. It'd be better to die than to be treated by you. She smiled mischievously. You didn't even let me try. Juliana thought for a moment. Though you could give me some pills. What's bothering you? It took her some time to reply. A heavy stomach. Sure it's not an empty head? Oh ha ha ha, I muttered under my breath. What did you say? Nothing. Give me a second. I found the pills in the first drawer I opened. Thank you, doctor. She smiled cheerfully. Watching Juliana, I could not imagine how such an optimistic and active child could have any health problems. Overdose of stolen candies, right? Got food poisoning from the canteen? Oh, she's gonna love that one. So let's be mean. She gave me a baleful look. No, I left everything for you. What does that mean? I don't know what that means in this case. Did you eat too much candy? No, I left it all for you. Juliana ran out of the infirmary and slammed the door. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Again, I went back to studying Soviet fashion trends. Time passed, but the nurse was still absent. I wasn't searching for Shurik, I wasn't looking for any clues concerning my situation. I was just sitting and flipping through a magazine. Yes, for a moment I felt quite satisfied with this situation. So far, everything that has happened here could be seen as just a trip to a summer camp. If nothing changes anytime soon, then I can start worrying. Again, somebody knocked on the door. Did I miss the outbreak of an epidemic? Slavia was standing at the doorway. Oh, hi. Isn't the nurse here? Hi. No, she's not here. I'm taking over for today. Great. I'd like... She hesitated. What? No, it's nothing. Strange. I wouldn't even think that such an open person as Slavia would keep something quiet. If there's something bothering you, tell me. That's why I'm here, to treat people. I smiled widely. No. I mean, yes, but no. Hearing that made anything possible, even division by 0. So, how can I help you? You? I guess you can't. She smiled and was going to leave, but suddenly stopped. However, could you step out for a minute? Why not? Okay. So she doesn't want me to know what she's getting. So she's just gonna get it for herself. Either that or she's a big kingpin drug lord. It's one of the two, you know? I stepped out of the infirmary and leaned against the wall. I wonder what might she be doing. Something that I can't even see. After a minute, the door opened and Slavia came out. She was carrying a small bundle. What's a bundle? Do you mean a bunch of stuff, or do you mean something in a sack, perhaps? Do not ask about the bundle. We're saving that for the Slavia run. Good luck, I shouted after her. Thank you. She gave me one of her sweet smiles before leaving. I looked at the time. It was getting late. I had read the magazine backwards and forwards, but the nurse still wasn't here. Suddenly, the door burst open and Alyssa rushed inside. Rushed inside? She looked at me piercingly. What are you doing here? Sitting, I admitted honestly. Okay then. It's even better without the nurse, she murmured. Are you sick? I asked acidly. Alyssa didn't answer and came closer to me. Move over. Why? So I can open the drawer, isn't it obvious? What for? She got angry. None of your business. Well, I'm kinda in charge here. She gave it a moment's thought. Then give me some activated carbon. Stomachache? Yeah. She grinned sharply. I got the feeling there was something wrong here. Give Alyssa the activated... Oh, right, because we are doing an Alyssa Semyon run. Just give it to her. But you never know. What if she really has an ache? Okay. I reached into the drawer and got out a packet of activated carbon. Thanks. She wrested it from my hand and ran away. It was 15 minutes till dinner and the nurse still wasn't back, so we spent quite literally half a day here. I guess just leaving the place like this won't do. She asked me to look after it after all. And who knows what might happen if I leave. Though who would want to steal anything from here? Except for Alyssa stealing activated carbon. I opened the magazine again and began flipping through it for the nth time. The fashions of the 80s weren't that fun anymore. Jordan got me several times. It was already 6 o'clock, so dinner has already started. Of course I had to be on the watch till the end, but my stomach seemed to have its own opinion on the matter. I stood up and steadily headed to the exit. A rustling sound came from behind the door. Could it be someone else who got poisoned, broke their arm or something even worse? I sighed heavily and pulled the doorknob. However, there was no one out there. Seems it was just my imagination. Okay. I returned inside and instantly noticed that something had changed in the infirmary. To be precise, An apple had appeared on the table. But where from? Yeah, so what is this apple doing here? Fruits can't just materialize from air by themselves, can they? Though in this camp anything is possible. Yeah, you keep saying shit like that, but you're also saying that this is the most normal place you've ever been to. So, what is it exactly? Chances are someone just brought it here. Maybe Lena wanted to thank me. Given that she's all shy and... But wait. How could she just slip past me like that? Lena wouldn't climb through the window after all. So there must be something else. I was suddenly overwhelmed by fear. What if the apple is poisoned? Though why would someone complicate things when I am here totally helpless and can be killed way more easily? Or it might be the apple which Eve tasted in the Garden of Eden. In that case I certainly shouldn't eat it. Why not? Because that apple gave her knowledge. Well, it was a fruit. I don't think it's actually referenced in the Bible to be an apple, just a divine fruit. But yeah, it gave her knowledge, so you would be instantly smart, and it would also cast you out of the Garden of Eden because God didn't like you doing that. So you would suddenly be released from this place. Maybe. The same second my stomach reminded me it was there by rumbling treacherously. Oh. However, it would take the time to close the infirmary, to reach the canteen, to get food. My stomach is about to eat itself. There is nothing wrong, I guess. Once again, I tried to remember if this apple was here before. In the end, it must have appeared from somewhere. Maybe it got here through the window. The shutter was slightly open, so someone must have reached in and put it here. Nothing serious, however. I should be able to do whatever I want on the first 4 days, and that's what I remember. But don't eat the apple. No. Even assuming that this is a normal apple, in any case I shouldn't eat unwashed fruits. Just like that, I found a reason for my fear and put the apple away. It was time to go for dinner. Oh, so we're just ditching instead. Along the way I ran into Electronic. How's it going? Did you find Shurik? No, still no sign of him. Don't worry, we'll find him. I tried to cheer him up. Too much time has passed. I'll just keep on searching. What about dinner? No, finding Shurik is more important. He muttered thoughtfully. I left him at the crossroads and wished him good luck. Pioneers crowded in the doorway. I quickened my pace, trying not to be the last one in the line, at least for today. And I was lucky. In the far corner was an absolutely empty table. I took my dinner quickly and sat at the table. Tonight's dinner consisted of fruit soup and a pair of buns. This had surprised me at first, but the taste was actually nice. I concentrated on eating. Lena, let's go here. Look, 3 free shares. Lena and Miko stood in front of me. Are these taken? Wondered Lena. No, take a seat. Of course, I wish you were alone. Thank you. As soon as Lena said that, Senya jumped out from behind her back. I'll sit here. There are no places left, she said, putting her tray on the table and sitting down, not even waiting for my answer. Sure, make yourself at home, I muttered sorrowfully. What? Nothing. To tell the truth, I wanted to reduce the whole company to just Lena, though neither Miko or Senya were causing much trouble. Except one was too talkative and the other was too arrogant. But nevertheless, they were absolutely harmless, especially comparing to some others I could name. Oh, seems like I forgot my key. Don't worry, take mine. I was surprised by Miko's short reply. Do you? Live together? Of course. Didn't you know? Together. Our cabin is the rearmost. I mean the farthest from here. I mean the last one. I wouldn't have been surprised if someone told me that Lena lived with Slavia. Or with Senya at worst. Even electronic. But silent and shy Lena and excessively talking Miku as a pair, that's really a surprise. Did you find Shurik? It's strange that Senya is disturbed by someone's problems. No. Surely he is at the village buying cigarettes. Or vodka. She snorted. Village? At that moment, the conversation got much more interesting. Got a problem with villages? Senya looked amazed. You mean there's a village nearby? I think so, she said uncertainly. I looked at Lena and Miku, but they were busy with their meals and did not pay attention to our conversation. You mean you don't know exactly? Why should I care? Senya stated her dish. But there must be something nearby. Listen. Listening. I don't know. Will you let me eat? Seems like I won't get anything from her. Though there is a chance that she really doesn't know. The remaining time was spent listening to Miku talking about some nonsense. I was just going slowly mad in silence. Obviously, the first thing I did after getting out of that was inhale a great breath of fresh air. The sun was setting. I decided to take a walk. It's highly unlikely that I would find something more exciting to do for the rest of the evening. In that way, something interesting could arise quite unexpectedly. I was approaching the square when I heard a loud bang. Yeah, I heard that too. It seemed like something had exploded. I was paralyzed. I am in a hostile environment, not knowing the rules and laws of this place. It would be better for me to run. But at the same time, I was curious. Probably I would have just kept standing there, but somebody grabbed my hand. It was Olga Dmitrievna. Why are you standing here? Let's go and see what happened. Can't you ever manage without me? I begged her pitifully. It shouldn't be anything serious. I hope. When we came to the square, there was already a crowd of pioneers. Olga Dmitrievna vigorously pushed through the crowd and approached the crime scene. Obviously, someone had tried to blow up Genda. Oh. But the attackers failed. The monument was still standing upright. There were only dim ash traces on the pedestal. Is this Alyssa's doing? She was stealing carbonated black coal? What was it called? Well, who did this? She looked over the crowd of pioneers. Surely it wasn't done by an organized terrorist organization. These guys all came here just to look at what happened. I noticed Uliana and Alyssa in the crowd. And it looks like our camp leader noticed them too. You two, come here! They approached her reluctantly. Why always me? If you think so. Show me your hands, Dvashevskaya. What's wrong with them? I looked closer and saw that they were smeared with black. Now it's clear. What did you make a bomb with? The junior terrorist seemed to hesitate over whether or not to confess, but then blurted out proudly. Activated carbon, saltpeter, and sulfur. Why exactly the monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? The fighter of the rights of... Besides, he gave me the activated carbon. She pointed at me with her finger. The whole square stared at me. Thoughts about the pointlessness of this act due to the small bomb size left me at the very moment. She stole it! I did nothing! Even if he gave it to you, I'm sure that Semyon would never take part in such a disgusting, antisocial act. Yes, exactly, that. I agreed. I could hardly imagine how long she would have kept on scolding Alyssa if Electronic hadn't popped out at that very moment shouting, I found it! I found it! Everyone turned towards him. He held a boot in his hand. Here! Electronic boastfully shook over his head. It's Shurik's boot! Okay, calm down. Tell us in detail where you found it. In the forest. On the way to the old camp. Whispers ran among the pioneers. Old camp, what is happening? Old camp, the old camp. Are you sure? Absolutely. What's so special about this old camp? I joined in the conversation. It's nothing special, really, she stammered. One of the Soviet legends tells the story of a young camp's leader's ghost living there. She fell in love with a pioneer, but he rejected her, and so she killed herself. She committed harakiri with a kitchen knife. Next day, the boy was hit by a bus. Juliana ran out of the crowd. Bus? I refrained from asking him about the route number. But science doesn't acknowledge the existence of ghosts, so we have nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, somebody should go there. Suddenly the crowd started to thin out. Olga Dmitrievna, it's almost night. Maybe tomorrow. I turned around and saw Slavia and Lena. What if at night something happens to him? No, today, right now. By the way, where is this place? Electronic roughly described to me the direction and told me the story of the old camp. The camp leader looked at me attentively. If you think that you're the only man here. I looked around the area. Of course. Electronic was quick to flee. I still didn't want to walk in the woods alone. If you ask me, I would... Ooh! Don't remember this. Yeah, let's go with Alyssa. And Vachevskaya goes with you. It was as if Olga Dmitrievna had read my mind. Why is that? Well, who tried to blow up the monument? And as if that wasn't enough, who also tried to slander Semyon? She said it in such a voice that Alyssa did not dare to argue. Happy now? She blurted once we were left alone. What do I have to do with this? Was it me who tried to blow up the monument? Alyssa grunted and turned away. I'm not going anywhere with you. Oh, please don't. Great then. Excellent. We stood silently for a while, not looking at each other. I dared to break the silence first. Is that all? All what? All that you wanted to tell me? Yes, that's all. Do you mind then if I inquire why you tried to blow up the monument? I was bored. Ah, right. Blowing it up would have definitely cheered you up. Alyssa seemed really reluctant to go with me. As for me, however, I decided to find Shurik after all. It wasn't him who interested me the most, but the abandoned camp. For some reason I had a feeling that I might find out something there. And I really did not like the idea of going alone at night. So, you scared then? Are you daring me? She gave me a sarcastic smile. Oh no, I'd never. Good luck if you're staying then. I turned around and started walking in the direction where the old camp should have been. Alyssa caught up with me at the forest edge. Wait up! I'm going with you. Why did you deign to change your mind all of a sudden? I asked ironically. You don't need to know. She snarled and handed me a flashlight. That was quite wise. I don't know what I would have done there alone in the dark if it wasn't for Alyssa. Electronica told us that the old building was built right after the war. It looked like a kindergarten, or like barracks I expected, and definitely could hold a fewer pioneers than today's camp. It had been abandoned for about 20 years. The night forest was completely unlike during the day. Just a couple of hours ago it seemed like it was just a small grove where even a blind man wouldn't get lost. However, as the darkness fell, the trees seemed to grow up. The bushes suddenly took up all the free space, and the paths, so wide in daylight, turned into barely visible waves in the dark green forest ocean. The final strokes to this picture were the birds, the insects and the beasts, who were giving a concert, each with its own instrument, creating together an amazing yet frightening nocturnal symphony. We walked slowly, Alyssa a bit ahead of me in her wake, trying not to fall too far behind. She acted self-assured to a fault. Absolutely not like me. Every rustle of bushes nearby or hoot of an owl overhead made me cringe and look around timidly. Of course, it was obvious that there was not much to fear here. The local woods weren't likely to be teemed with wild beasts, and it seemed there were no people at all in this world, apart from those in the camp. However, the fear was there on the instinctive level, and I tried to walk carefully and to stay as watchful as I could. Discretion is the better part of valor, after all. Alyssa stopped suddenly. So suddenly that I nearly bumped into her. Now where? What? Well, straight ahead, I guess. Are you sure? I tried to figure out the directions. It looks like we were going the right way. Or at least the way suggested by electronic. However, without a map, without GPS or GLONASS navigation, I wasn't even sure that we were still on the same planet, wherever it was. We haven't taken any turns. We've been walking straight forward all this time, just as electronic said. Then why haven't we made it to the old camp yet? How should I know? Alyssa's rude way of talking was already getting on my nerves. Are we already lost? Why would you say that? We are barely a kilometer away from the camp. So what? She looked visibly sadder. So nothing. If you don't like it, you can go back. Alyssa eyed me disappointedly for a while, and then her face changed sharply. Well, I will then. She suddenly turned around and started marching briskly back towards the camp. Good luck there, I shouted as she was going. However, Alyssa may be right, and we are in fact lost. In which case it's not a good idea to stay here alone. The cool night breeze blew stronger, and I shivered. But going after her would mean losing face. Even worse, admitting she is right. No, I'm not ready to accept that. I could have probably spent until morning arguing with myself about this, if it weren't for Alyssa's scream. My legs carried me on their own towards where she went. About 20 meters on, I nearly fell into a hole, just managing to jump over it at the last moment. As for Alyssa, it looked like she had not managed to. I was about to point a flashlight into the darkness when I realized that she'd taken it with her. Well, that had to be expected. Are you alive? Yeah. Her muffled voice sounded up from below. Did you break anything? Hell if I know, idiot! A light flickered in the hole. I stepped closer and bent it to examine how deep it was. The crumbling hole went about 3 meters into the depth, but it was pitch black below. Help me get out! Alyssa yelled angrily. And how do you imagine I should do that? I don't know, think of something. Well, what do you see now? Describe it. Well, it's sort of a tunnel and... Nah, yes, a tunnel. A tunnel? That's weird. Come on, get down here. Is that the best idea you have? I'd rather run to the camp for a rope. You're gonna leave me alone here? Alyssa's voice lost much of its impudence. But you're alone down there anyway. Hey! She cried out loud and directed the flashlight right into my eyes. Well, don't panic. Trolls aren't gonna eat you there. I'll be back in a flash. Alyssa was screaming herself into a fit from down below, but I couldn't make out the words. However, I only managed to take a few steps before the ground yielded under my feet, and before I knew it, I was tumbling down. I grabbed a thin root that somehow slowed down my fall. But it snapped under my weight and went flying down with me. And here we are. You're alive? Let's hope so, because that will be the end of today's episode. So no, we didn't manage to find Shurik this time either. This is gonna be at least a 3-parter then. Interesting. Unfortunate, considering that I only make 2 videos a week for this series. But yeah, in the next video we're going to go through the tunnel, I guess. And we will try to find Shurik. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you Joseph for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember, just because you're not the main character, it does not mean you're not important. Goodbye everyone.